Hello, welcome. Oh, I'm very over there, aren't I? Oh, look, I've done it again. My webcam's poking up. How are you? Welcome to Real Magic Review. My name is Steve Faulkner, but you know that, don't you? I don't know why I always say that every time. It's a bit habitual, isn't it? Welcome. This is just a little check-in, really. I'm going to do the comments. I've been a very busy boy. Loads of stuff gone out. So there's a few comments on the Josh J interview. Last week's session, the OMG Super Origami by John Banham, and Pop by Nicola Arcane. It's really nice to see people's responses to that, because obviously it's not one of those big releases. So I'm really glad that I did that one. So first of all, do like and subscribe if you like it and you want to subscribe to it. Press the little notifications icon, because I nearly couldn't do tonight's. So if you get the notifications one, you'll know when I can't make the live sessions. But most of you will be watching this not live because it is sunny and beautiful in England. And when that happens in England, everybody runs outside. Gary has said he's already in the garden having a beer. My friend just texted me and said, "You want to go for a beer?" And I promised I wasn't going to have one tonight, but it's going to be hard. So yeah, that's again what we do when it gets sunny. Do check out on very relaxed. I'll tell you why in a minute. Do check out onlinemagic.co. Live session tonight. I'm going to be talking everybody through fourth dimensional telepathy, which I've done on stage. I found some footage. I wonder if I can play a bit of it. Some footage of me doing it. Look, years ago. I'm going to play tonight. I'm going to take it apart. Let's see if this works. Now, right. So this is just. I'm just going to go for it. The gentleman there with the glasses. What's your name, sir? Look at Stevie there. Porky Stevie. About 7 or 8 years ago, I think that was. So there you go. So we're going to look at that tonight. I'm going to teach Anneman's fourth dimensional telepathy and a bit of the Bob Cassidy one and how I do it. And it's just such a great routine. So anyway, live sessions every week, guest lectures every month, and it's all very good. Onlinemagic.co. Right, Ezekiel just woke up, had a long night. I hope you're all right. Yeah, I know what that feels like. I am very tired because I went for a bike ride this morning. It's hot, as we've established, and being an English person, I'm not going to stop talking about the weather. It's very hot. I went for a bike ride, and I did I did a number of climbs. One of them was very steep, and I felt very lightheaded, and came back, and I wasn't in a very good state. So yeah, so I'm a little bit like. And it's really hot in the office. I'm moving offices soon, which is going to be really exciting. So it's going to be a lot cooler. This is like a little oven. So, any questions you have, son? I know, Ezekiel. It's amazing, isn't it? I made a live Meximex. How you doing? Good to see you. Right, I might as well talk. Have I got anything else to say? Better get on with it. It's been a couple of minutes. Right, I'll do some comments. We'll start with, what did we have last? Oh gosh, hang on. This all started. From Spencer, last week. I've been doing magic for almost 5 years now, and every time I put time into a new effect and show those first couple of people, if I mess up or just don't quite get the astonishment I'm looking for, I'm so dejected. Yeah, so this was about, I did the thing about more on the Q&A last week, and I think that thing about that feeling of feeling really dejected the first few times you do something, it's so easy to act on that, isn't it, and not do. Actually, I've done it so many times. You know, when I've taken an effect out in close-up and I've got my stuff that I know is going to work, that I'm kind of getting a bit bored of, and I do something different and it kind of goes all right, and then I realise I haven't done it for 6 months after that. And I think the key is to just accept that thing of, yeah, he says, you know, I want to throw away the effect after putting hours and hours into it, even when I know I've gone through this process 1,000 times before. You think getting caught is something you get used to, but it always stings a little bit every time. But it's definitely helpful to workshop new effects with close friends who will give you good feedback and come to expect a variation of quality in your first attempts. Yeah, so I was listening to, I was listening to the audiobook of Josh J's How Magicians Think. And he was saying he has people that he shows in the, these friends, poor friends that have seen so many magic tricks, but they kind of give him feedback. I think it is really important to find that. Last night I had a gig, funnily enough, and it was really, I was so gutted because I thought, right, this time I'm going to do a couple of new things. And I've worked on them, for the first, I haven't worked on close-up stuff. I have as a hobby, but not to do in a gig. And I thought, no, I'm going to do something. And I turned up, and there was like a jazz band that nobody could hear me, and it meant I couldn't do the two routines that I wanted to try, which were a version of Toxic Plus that I hadn't done in close-up. I've done it, but I hadn't done it in close-up. And I really wanted to work it in because it started getting really good responses, and I just couldn't do it because they couldn't hear me. So I had to just do, card magic, ambitious card stuff that was visual, sign it, and it appears in lots of different places, which is fine, but I just want to do something a little bit more relaxed now. But anyway, the point being that those tricks I took out last week and tried out, and a couple of times didn't go right, like I just forgot a couple of stages. And I'm doing something with mental dice as well, which took a couple of goes to get right. And, so I'm now at that kind of breaking point that tipping point where if I don't take those tricks out soon, I'm worried that they'll kind of get put away again. So yeah, I totally get that, Spencer. It's a real problem, and we can all learn from it. We can all learn from that thing of knowing that that's part of the process and not acting on that feeling of dejection. I've watched the footage of I did John Allen's, which I'm gonna show on here. I did John Allen's a pain game in a different way, and something went wrong at the end, and I was absolutely mortified. I've just watched it, and you know what? Nobody would really notice because of the lighting and stuff. So I kind of panicked and thought that everybody's seen it, but I've just realised that if I'd have played it slightly differently and not panicked so much and just gone, you know what, that's fine. Most people wouldn't see it anyway. So there's that feeling as well. If you feel like you've messed up, you might not. It's amazing what people won't notice if you carry on being relaxed, and I'll talk about that mistake soon. Josh J's interview. Tom Marquette, that whole talk infused so much lightness into my soul at a time the weight and sorrow has buried me alive. Thank you. Thanks for a few moments of brightness. Agreed, your work is important to me. Thank you, Tom. And there's a lot of people going through different things all the time, and I think that if we can escape into our magic I really, really find podcasts and discussions and magic and everything I do so useful when things are a struggle. So I'm glad, it's really lovely to hear that, Tom, and I do hope everything's good. Just a lot of, I'm not going to read out all the ones saying that people enjoyed it because it just feels a bit self-indulgent, but I love Joshua's candid points on productivity from Martin. Oh, put my glasses on, shouldn't I? Ollie, awesome interview, grip from start to finish. Made me even more excited for the session. Yeah, I know the session's going to be a lot of fun, and I don't feel bad saying that because I couldn't go to Magic Live, so or Blackpool even this sense. Loads of love for the interview, and if you haven't watched the Josh J interview, do watch it. I really enjoyed it. I was nervous because I haven't done an interview in a while, and I'm really pleased with it. I also loved how magicians think, but please can everybody stop talking about the session? I want to go really badly, from Stefan. I saw Kevin Chow's Quiver Compact Index out. No one has reviewed it yet. I hope you will soon. Yeah, I'm not getting much to review at the moment. I've got a massive backlog, which I'm trying to get through. Secret of success from Gary is hard work, which is why it's been a secret for so long. Yeah, absolutely. Where can we find the Talk About Tricks books? Does Vanish Link or online shops count? Yeah, so Talk About Tricks books are out soon. They are ridiculously wonderful. Coming at the end of the month, they've got an official release. They've been released. A few people have bought them from Magi Fest and things like that. And then someone just put tutorial, please, as if they're going to have a tutorial on an interview. But there you go. So my name's Steve Faulkner. Welcome. Let's see if there's any. If you've got any questions, let me know. Have you ever considered having a home office? Seems like you'd save money on renting one. Yeah. So what happened? I've got a lot set up here, and when I worked at home, I had to set up the cameras and the lights every time, and I had no consistency, and there's not much room. The kids are getting a bit older now, but it's very, and I found that thing of having the cameras set up at home, like I'd always think about it, and it kind of had an adverse effect on my productivity and things like that. So having an office means that, like all the videos that I've done this week, I just wouldn't have done them. The office is more about filming. I do work at home sometimes, but the filming for the course for onlinemagic.co and for this it's a full-time job, and I need to get my head out, and also to be able to leave it here set up is great, and it allows me to kind of I mean, don't get me wrong, I do work at home, like I said, and I practice at home, but I like walking away from all the tech sometimes and the cameras and the lights and stuff. But yeah, I mean, tell me about it. If my house was bigger, I haven't got a very big house, I'd definitely go back to having a home office. Yes, so I'm just gonna, I'll do the rest of the questions and comments in a minute that we're coming in now. But I'll do the origami one. There's not. Thanks for the review. Nice little effects. Like John Bannon's stuff, he has several tricks where he uses this principle. You did a very nice. Thank you very much. Very nice job. Yeah, I like this. That's from Robert Ball. Check his site out. Lovely Robert Ball. Hope everything's all right. His channel. Yeah. It is a nice little effect. It's a strange effect. You know, the sort of what do you call it? Origami poker, the principle that if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. It's got a performance on it as well. But the strangeness, I think, can really work, because anything when you lay out a pattern on a table can be really good. It's like the clock face tricks. I think they're really nice, and people are fascinated and interested in them. So I think, like Mexi Mex says, I quite like the effect, but can't think of any time I'll be able to use it yet. I mean, at a gig and stuff, it's just not going to happen for me, but in a casual setting, so I'll give it a miss. I may change my mind if an idea comes up, yeah. So I think it's nice, and if you like that sort of thing, the oddness of it, I think, and I mean that in a good way, it's cool. Right, so nearly there with Pop by Nicola Arcane. Really glad I read that book, you know, like I've said, it just, you know, it's like Silly Billy's book, you know, David Kay. So much to learn from these things, and to go out of to go out of magic, as I said in the review, I think is really important. To read out of magic and read about music and other arts and productivity and fiction, etc., to kind of feed into our magic, but also to read around magic that we may not initially be interested in. So, you know, learning from Nicola and reading a book which is based on family shows, you know, a lot of learning there for all magicians, I think. And to be able to empathise with kids magicians and understand it, even though we don't do it as well. My wife is from Roger Woods. My wife Jo and I first met Nicola at the excellent Belfast Magicon in 2016. To say she's come on leaps and bounds since then is an understatement. She works so hard at everything magical, and she sets herself to do and deserves every success. And let's not underestimate the power, the sheer power of inspiration, of just hearing other people's stories, of you know, that give us that thing, if they can do it, we can do it. And I really believe that. I believe that some people are talented, kind of, they might pick things up quicker, but I think with work, well, evidence says, you know, with work that we will get to, you know, a long way to where we want to get to. When we hear other people's stories of their struggles and their mindset, it's hugely beneficial, and it can go in and inspire in ways we don't initially notice as well. Seth says, are we picking this up? Still available? She had 20 left, I think. Great review. Is it worth getting both? Yes, and you've just asked this question on here. Zengineer. I think, yeah, I mean, I read both. If you're into that, definitely if you're into that stuff, and I think so. I thought, if I remember rightly now, I haven't read the first one in a long time, but it felt that this had more content. But I really enjoyed the first one. The first one was about her sort of really starting to get into it, and this is obviously a few years down the line when she's had that experience and more routines in it. So you get a lot of routines in both as well. So I definitely think it's worth getting both. Can you review Switcher 2, mate? Yeah, before I buy it. Well, I'd love to, and you know what? At the moment, well, Switcher 2. Who does Switcher 2 again? You're gonna have a joyous fun of me googling something now. Such fun, isn't it? Watching someone Google something. Switcher 2. Who does it? Mark Mason. Yeah, I've emailed Mark Mason a couple of times to send me stuff, and he hasn't sent me anything, which is fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But a lot of people just don't want to send stuff to review, or they can't, or they're too busy, which is, you know, fair enough. But yeah, I'd love to review it, and if I get one, you know, to review. And people, if you've got Switcher 2, write on here or in the comments underneath what you think of it. You know, do a little mini couple of line review if you think it's, just say, yeah, I've got it and I love it and I use it. And Mex, I'm not a fan of kids magic, not because I think it's lesser than other magic or anything, it's because I hate kids. Right. Yeah, that's very funny. Was it not? line I used to say in my street show. Kids, just can you keep your kids with you because I don't like them. I think that might not be my line actually. It might be Pete Wardell or Gary Animal. Silly Billy and Beyond. Look, Don't See. Best books ever. Yeah. So I haven't got the David Kay books, but I have had a flick through. Right, there's all the comments. Good. I like that. Meximex, with both magic and music, if you screw up, just roll with it. The audience didn't know what you were going to do. Only you do, so chances are they'll never even notice. Yeah, and I think something, I was listening actually again to the Joshua J audio, but I've gone dark, haven't I? Is my screen really dark? The audio book, and he was saying that with some tricks, and that, especially with mentalism, to me, it can feel so terrifying because it's all hinging on one slight, and if you get that switch or whatever wrong, it can expose a whole thing. It can, but as you say, a lot of time it won't, or even if it does, people don't see it because they're caught up in it. So definitely, if you get that, the story I tell, which don't get excited, it isn't a very good story, but my first ever one-person show was. It's true, I do hate kids. First ever show that I did was part of the Comedy Festival in Sheffield. I was absolutely terrified. And the opening trick was me walking out. I had a $50 pound and I talked about some nonsense or other, and I just produced the coin. So it was easy. I've done it hundreds of times. So, because I was nervous, for some reason, I got out and I dropped the coin on the floor. And for me, in my head, I was like, oh, well, I've screwed the whole thing up now. But quite a few people afterwards said, I thought that was meant to happen, because I kind of made some stupid joke out of it. And it's, yeah, so to me, it was, again, disastrous, as I said, with the smash and stab, what's it called, pain game, disastrous. And I've got to, even after 25, 30 years of performing, I still forget that. Don't just presume they've seen something, and always relax, even with your mistakes. Great book, Learning from Your Mistakes. Talks about it a lot. Where is it? Don't know. Second, watching someone Google something, second only for watching someone look for a book. Rehearsing Your Mistakes. There you go. Angel Shimal. Probably not how you present it, but pronounce it. Dear me. Okay. Hey, Beg and Bros, how you doing? Good to see you. I had the original Switcheroo, or whatever it was called. Really good to hear that I hear the new one is even better. Good. It's really good, and I hear the new one's even better. Afternoon, Bralafu, how you doing? You coming to the live thing? Got my envelopes ready. My helper on stage dropped my force deck. Nobody noticed. I panicked initially and thought, just crack on. Yeah. I had a friend, I don't think he'd mind me mentioning who it was, but I'll talk about it. He had a whole presentation built around a story deck. He'd written he's very good at writing sort of sales presentations, and I actually learned one of his once at a trade show. It was wonderful. But he had a whole presentation around a whole stack, the whole 20 minutes or something, or 10 minutes he was going to do, and went out to do it. And just as he's chatting to him, he nonchalantly, just habitually, just shuffled the cards and just looked down and went, that's it, done. The whole thing he'd written, he couldn't do it. So, yeah. And it's not something you think's going to happen, is it? You think, yes, you might drop them, but then if you rehearse like he had, but just that thing of just chatting away and nonchalantly shuffling the deck and just realising what you've done. Whew. David M. Steve, I'll forever be grateful to you for teaching me the Gambler's Cop on your card magic course over a year ago. Still my favourite move, and you taught it so well. Copping's weird, and it feels really, when you first do Gambler's Cops, it feels just like you're not going to work, because it's like a palm that you can see. So yeah, I agree. If you want to see someone do some really good stuff, Eddie McCall's great at all that as well. So obviously a lot of people are, but yeah, I'm glad, David, it helped. Looking to get a Quiver Plus. Would you recommend it better than the Quiver itself? Don't know. Someone answer that quickly before we finish. I'm never had a Quiver, never had Quiver Plus, never had any of that stuff. So, and not that I don't want to. I do want one, but I've got I'm trying to make myself not buy anything else. I've got such a stack of stuff to review. But I was doing level 1 last night. That's what I was doing at this gig. Did it loads, because you can just look at it and go, look, it's going to go boom. You don't have to talk through it a lot. And yeah, it's just it's a wonderful thing. So right, a couple of things. Go and have a look at onlinemagic.co. Oh, I'm tired and hot. Shouldn't have gone on that. Shouldn't have gone on that bike ride. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, go and look at onlinemagic.co. Do that, and also Quiver is fine. I think the plus is too much. There you go for Ezekiel. Thank you. Quiver Plus is amazing, and fight. I have 3 of them. Work great for both cards and coin transpositions, etc. Right, I want one now. I'm just talking about not getting you stuff. All it takes, and I think some of you may be able to empathise with this. All it takes is for someone to mention that a magic trick's good, and I want to buy it. A book as well. Someone says, "Oh, this got a magic book. It's great." And look how many I've got. I'm never going to get through them all. I'm going to die before reading all the magic books I've got, and I still just can't. When someone mentions it, I want to get it. Meximex, Quiver and Quiver Plus are great, but think about what you want to use it for before picking which to get. So stop. Now I'm going to have to look into it. I'll have one by the end of the evening. Who makes it? They send me one to review. Right. I want a potato board as well. I want a potato board. Patati board. And time hacker. That's what I want. Want one of them. No worries, Alan. Oh, Brulefum. Not a cup, just a cup by Axel Heckler arrived this afternoon. Seriously impressed. It's good, isn't it? It's good. Yeah, I'm going to relearn that. I think I've forgotten it. Get one of each. Stop it. You get me one. As a present for being nice. For payment. For payment of listening to me waffle. Right. I should go now. I could stay here all day. But I shouldn't. So, I will be... Watch it. I'm going to put a review out tonight, I think. Might go out tomorrow. But watch it, because I think it's really special, and it's something you may not have heard of. So, Defo Mexi, get one of these. Go on, off I go. Oh, there's so much I want. What did I say? Oh yeah, I want the you know, the colour match. The how do you say it? Verdi. Who makes mental dice? Well, not who makes them. Who came out with the mental dice, which I love. I've just started using them with a thumper. Woohoo! Yeah, send me one of each. What do you mean? No, don't. I was only joking. Don't deprive yourself. All right, go then. No. Oh, bless you. Right, so I'll see you. Well done for still being here. See you soon. See you next week. I think Just a Cup is fantastic. I can't stop reading them. It makes me look like a true Cups and Balls master, when actually I'm not very good at Cups and Balls. One of the best purchases I've ever made. David F. Look at that. Good old Axel Heckler. He's great, isn't he? I'm loving learning, still practicing the Lincoln Ring routine that he teaches. Right, I'm going now. I've been looking for Dyson Men, but can't find it, but found it in the book. So I'll make my own. Yeah, make your own Dyson Men. You can make your own. Easy. So, and he has it in the book, doesn't he? So it's not like you're doing something dodgy. Right. Well, I'm going now. See you later. Go and look at onlinemagic.co. And more importantly, have a lovely one. Thank you so much for coming. Any comments, put them down below after this as well. Any questions, I will answer them in another video. And if you go on onlinemagic.co, you can get one of the free courses. Actually, go below this, get one of the free courses, and then you'll be on my newsletter, which I won't spam you, and you can there'll be some stuff on there that you might like as well every time I write a blog, which I'm going to do soon, I promise. I'm used to sending stuff out. Oh yeah, for the people with powers to prestidigitation. Yeah. Right. See you later. Bye.